Hey Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome back to Let's Play Civilization 7 as Napoleon the Emperor, playing as Greece. We've been making great use of these sanctions here. We're getting about 15 gold per turn, about 15 culture per turn. We are in the crisis towards the end of the age, and we're also in a pretty big and scary war. I was kind of hoping that these walls would hold up a little bit better, but it appears that they will not. We do almost have the Bastion promotion, which is really going to help us because we're looking for that order promotion as well. We need that combat strength to be able to defend Hichiti. Now let's have a look here. We can grab 100 culture or 200 happiness. I think the culture is going to do more for us right now. Yeah, somebody already built the Angkor Wat, which kind of makes me sad. We could go pick up organized military if we wanted to throw down another settlement real quick before the next age, which might not be the worst decision ever. If we parked one right here, it would get a bunch of we get a bunch of water tiles plus a bunch of resources. So I am kind of tempted to go for the organized military here. It wouldn't take us too long to research that for the +1 settlement limit. So I think that's what we're going to go for, and eventually we'll get our hands on another settler. I think most of our gold needs to go towards the purchase of military units, in particular hoplites, to better defend the city. At the very least, they're going to tank damage for us. We do have a new policy that we can plug in, so I'll go for the extra culture on culture buildings, just for that little trickle of culture. We do have a scout and a couple of hoplites here. Let's start shooting. This guy got a promotion, and we want to go for the Bastion promotion. We want to be able to defend. We want to be able to tank damage. We don't necessarily need to be able to do damage in the beginning. We need to overcome the AI's combat strength bonuses. You can see here the AI gets +8 difficulty combat strength bonus. So we need a little bit of combat strength. You know, +2 brings that down to a +6, right, on the defense. So that just really helps us out. Take a little damage on you, that's fine. Okay. Definitely would like to kill this archer. So I wonder if I move you over, will I get the flanking bonus required to kill him? Almost. Let's buy ourselves another hoplite. Oh, so we'll build a hoplite and we'll buy a hoplite. Just trying to clog up this war zone here. Speaking of hoplites, wonder if we can focus fire this guy to get big damage, secure the kill with the hoplite, grabbing a promotion. We'll grab Bastion and Bulwark. Perfect. I'm going to fortify. Oh, I can't fortify with you. It's already a fortified tile. So let me get scooped up by you. And it would be good if we had another hoplite over here to fill in the gaps in our army. Yeah, city-states are very vulnerable to the AI in this game. Especially if they don't, since they seemingly don't build walls. This archer is over here. I think I could move it here because this would give me good control of this lake plus this gold tile with this ranged unit. And then he can always step back in to defend Argos if needed. So the scout is tanking for us, which was the plan. Oh, he one-shot that archer. That was not what we were expecting. I was expecting that archer to be able to take a hit. Let's pull you back a tile. Shoot you. Shoot you. Then I'm going to slap and then slam again, hopefully taking the tile. Perfect. We're killing. Let's kill this archer with you. You're pretty well fortified. You are pretty strong. You can get some good damage on that archer. There's not much I can do to save you. It's fine. And pound the chariot. We're at 47 out of 60 experience on this army commander. I think I'm hoping that the archer appears on the tile behind the city when I buy it here. It would make me really unhappy if it didn't, but we'll see. I'll fortify on this tile just to let me hold it longer because time is, oh, we have a just completed tab. Oh my God. I wanted this for so long. That's so sick. We got another Logios. This guy needs to be built on an academy. Now, unfortunately, I don't actually have an academy and I may not get one this game because I went for ironworking. But I'll put it over here anyway, but you know, it might happen. I'm going to step you one tile to the right and then shoot this guy, because one tile to the right, you'll be safer. We're taking hits. You're taking hits as well. Looks like Sundapura was killed, which is fine. Hoplite was destroyed by a settler or what? Oh. I'm going to deposit this hoplite here. We'll shoot the chariot. And I really want the experience, so I'm hoping I can get this kill. Perfect. Let's shoot this guy again. That's him dealt with. Hichiti, we're going to work on hoplites. Let me scoop this hoplite up and move you here. And then what I'll do is I'll purchase an archer who will go on this tile, and hopefully this guy will be able to help fire support the city a little bit, because right now I've only got one archer kind of doing the most of the work. Yeah, I definitely want to hurt you, but I also want to get this kill. I'm wondering if I could piece out Egypt. No, she won't piece me out yet. I do want to up my war support against J-Riz. What are my sanctions looking like? Let's have a look. Recently ended. Yeah, I need more diplomatic influence to re-up them. It's going to hurt me a little bit actually with combat strength. I shouldn't have done the war support thing. I need you to be scooped up. Yeah, I'm missing a lot of war support due to sanctions. That's going to hurt me a lot in the next turn or two. I should be able to get a sanction up on J-Riz this turn. So I'm going to hinder his public morale. He makes a lot of happiness, so this does the most damage to his economy. Proportionally speaking, I don't even know what hit you. It was this archer. Well, shoot, so I have to step you back into a safe spot. This hoplite is starting to get healed. Let's archer this guy, step you forward and fortify that tile. That actually got us the promotion. This is going to be an important promotion. We're going to take the Bastion promotion for the +5 healing, and then we're going to take the Order Commendation for the +5 combat strength. And that's going to equal the score a little bit here. Let's deploy a Spearman into the fortified tile. We're going to retract you. We need you to heal up. We're going to deploy you into the city tile. Redeploy these guys. I would love to reinforce, but I just don't know if it's going to happen. Yeah, she has minus our war weariness. It's a bit of a problem to have this many people declaring war on you. Okay, I wasn't expecting them to be able to cross this river tile and attack my archer. So that's a little bit confusing to me because this is rough tropical river. And they were able to step across this and attack my archer. So that is really surprising to me. Now, the fun thing about the AI is I think they're a little bit brain broken in that they'll usually accept a peace deal that really they shouldn't. So like I think I could get Choctaw off J-Riz. Okay, not Choctaw. He will give me Kusa, which is down here. Would that trigger? I don't know if it would trigger the Golden Age, but I'm not going to abuse the AI. I'm just going to do a regular peace deal with J-Riz. So that deals with most of the enemy forces that are kind of harassing us, except for this archer right here that we need to deal with. Shoot that Magi that's coming. Our capital has grown. I don't think food has a lot of value for us right now. I'm going to put a specialist in the city center tile. You want to improve our relationship, that's totally fine. I'm also going to sanction you on the cultural side of things, and I'm going to sanction you on the research side. I think that's another +2 combat strength because we are playing the Emperor Napoleon, who gets combat strength for every sanction we have, except for denouncements. Oh, wait, can you multi-sanction someone? Wait a minute. I thought you had to sanction someone once. I can sanction the same person in multiple ways? Oh, that completely changes how I should have been using this. I thought I had to piss everyone off. It turns out I can just target a single person as my enemy. That's really interesting. I'm going to deploy you to here, suction up this hoplite, and then quickly buy another hoplite to defend the city with full health. Then we can kill this archer. Perfect, you fortify there. You're healing, that's great. We'll just keep making hoplites to defend because I think hoplites are our strongest units. Oh, I didn't know I could be using all of my sanctions on a single person. That changes the value of that ability pretty significantly for me and how I want to be using it. So that's really cool. I thought I had to spread them out. I thought they were like, I had to socialize the sanctions of the people to soften up this guy because he's threatening the city of Argos. And I need this archer to die too. Every kill I can get is a victory. She doesn't want peace, which is fine. Coming into Athenae, we did just get another Logios. We can get +2 influence in our capital, and I think that's permanent. If these aren't permanent, I'm going to be mad. I was told they were permanent. All right, let's attack here to clear out this hoplite, or this Magi. We've got a pretty good fortification lane around here. I do want to deploy this archer. Yeah, we've got completely. I wish there was you know what I would love? I would love a map mode that let me see fortified tiles. I would just love a map mode that I could click on. And I wish, because this is, now I've been playing a lot of Europa Universalis 5, which is not out yet, but I can talk a little bit about it. And that game has so many map modes, dude. If I want to find a tile or like a city in that game that has a high population, I can click in, like I can click on these map modes and like, I actually think map modes are like the future of strategy games. And I'm really shocked at how few of them there are compared to Civ 7 or Civ 6 rather. Map modes and nested tooltips, like genuinely, like, and I hate to be critical of the Civ developers because I think they're doing their best. You know, you've got limited resources, you're making decisions, but I struggle to understand how you don't have nested tool. Like I would have delayed Like if I was in charge, I would have been like, we need to delay the game until we have nested tooltips and like lots of map modes. People need to know what they're doing. I'll go for the extra food here. We'll take drills so we can train units faster. Because I don't want to like just crap on them, but man, they really feel missing. You fortify on that tile. So I think I can, no, I want to keep you here. I'm going to suck up this unit and replace it with a healthier one. And then I'm going to suck up this unit and replace, and this is how you do the commander dance, basically, because now I've got fresh units on fortified tiles, and then I'm shooting over those units with my ranged unit. Now, in a perfect world, I would also have another archer over here on this tile, so I may actually begin the training of another archer, you know, begin building our front line back up. I'm a little bit concerned about this city, so I'm going to start moving my commander over to the left in preparation of hopefully mounting a stronger defense of Argos, because these three Magi, they don't look like a huge threat, but I think they could actually take this city. That's how much combat strength the AI gets on deity difficulty. Like, it's actually crazy. So there's +1 settlement limit. We would love to get ourselves another settler. I'm going to crank that to the top of the queue. I think the settler is more important than the Logios. Let's start deploying archers. I'll deploy a hoplite here as well. I need these two guys to swap tiles so the healthier unit is in the city. And we need to get a kill. Perfect. Kill acquired. So there's tactics, organized military. I think we just click. I think all of these wonders have been built. So I think at this point we just click on future civic and forget about civics, because I don't think it really matters what we unlock. Coming into Hichiti, we're going to be moving to hold a new position, which is right over here. So this is now the center of our defense, because this is where the... this is a better choke point here than back here a little bit, because there's less tiles that they can push through, and we have more archer fire to be able to direct. I want to do the repair walls thing, but I also want to build more walls to make the city safer. So we'll slowly build walls in here. We're under attack, but I think we're holding pretty comfortably. Did I really lose that archer to a single? Oh, it was a wounded archer. I stepped out of the city. Yeah, that was a slight oversight on my part. Forgot about that. Okay, move this archer forward. I also want to move the army commander forward, because I want to get experience on him from these attacks. Farming experience is very, very important. So the crisis is going to intensify. These camps are going to get scarier. This commander got a promotion. I'm a really big fan of the left side bastion tree. Now, again, I haven't played in a while, so I actually don't know what the meta is. I'm actually not suzerain of really many city-states anymore because they've all been killed, and I'm not really importing things. So I think we can go for banditry and not really lose any value, because we're not doing it in independent trade, or international trade rather. Yeah, you do have an attack here. Step you up and fortify. We're going to create a new front line right there. And so now what we're really looking forward to is probably one of these trees here. Well, we definitely want... I think command radius is really powerful. There's a few different things we can do. The damn volcanoes damaging my units that are defending Hichiti. Oh, I like this like little kind of... They're trying to slip past us here on the right, but they are in water, which will make them vulnerable to attack. I think I need to pull back with a hoplite like this, so that I can deploy a slightly healthier hoplite to scoop up this wounded hoplite, and then I can deploy this guy right there. Perfect. I'm going to use my right-hand archer to soften up the combat units. I don't think this army commander has anyone inside him, so I don't think we need to attack him in particular. This Magi, or this hoplite's in a bit of a precarious situation. Plus, I don't like being adjacent to this erupting volcano. But yeah, at this point, our goal is to hold and to farm experience, get more levels on these army commanders, so that in future ages, we might be able to make use of them. I'm going to hinder Jose's finances. I'm going to hinder his agriculture in Cahokia. I'm hitting him with all of the sanctions, which should actually get us a pretty tasty combat strength bonus. You can see here, we're getting +6 from active sanctions, which is really cool. Now you can see here, he took a pair of big hits. We now have tier 3 hoplites, which is awesome. And I do think J Riz is thinking about attacking us. Could we piece you out? Now, question, could we piece you out and get a city off you? Like, what if we were to get Sundapura? Yeah, they'll give me Sundapura. And you know what I'm going to do with Sundapura? I'm going to just raise it to take away her presence from the area, so she's less likely to declare war on me again. And then I might try to restore my relationship with at least Ada Lovelace, who's all the way, and I might continue to have a rivalry with J Riz. So I'm going to start with a reconciliation with her to try to fix our relationship. And I would like to reconcile with you as well, but long term, it'll be fine. So most important thing is to look for resources, high production and high food tiles, and then maybe some specialists. So I do like this 3 food 1 production, 1 culture, plus it's on a silk. What is this again? Yeah, silk tile, which is a 10% culture boost. So this settlement is definitely going to get raised because it was a city-state. Oh god, I hate this. Jesus Christ, I hate this settling pattern from the AI. Especially like that infuriates me when there's like perfectly good land to settle here that they could have done. I suppose it is kind of blocked up with these city-state stuff, and yeah, I guess. Could get military training too. Theoretically, I would like to build an academy, although I don't think it really matters. How many codices do I have? Because that was one of the things I wanted to do. I do want to get my hands on another codex. So if I do Mastery of the Wheel, I would gain a codex. Mastery of Currency is theoretically better because it's cheaper. It's really the key point there. I don't like how hurt you are, so I'm going to scoop you up and deploy a higher health hoplite. And I'm going to hold on to my gold because there are other things that I can make use of with my gold. So let's see here. Failed Revenge. So sorcery should be banned. We can get 100 science or lose happiness, or 100 culture but lose happiness. I'll get the 100 science but lose happiness. Coming into Hitchiti, we did build some walls. I don't know how to do repairs. In theory, I should be able to repair this tile, but I don't know how to do it. I'll grab well, should I build a Logios or should I start building? I don't think there's a whole lot. Well, I guess if we built our monument and our villa, we would end up with a decent amount of yields. So I guess I could build these right here. It'd be a decent amount of diplomatic influence, especially going into the next age, because I believe the diplomatic influence does carry over in a very nice way. So I'm fortifying this location. So there's our scientific legacy milestone point, which is perfect. I'm getting gold from our gold buildings and a codex. In terms of rankings, in terms of legacy points, we are not doing too terribly. I kind of wish I would have been able to build a second wonder to get an extra point there. It would have been nice to get the Pax Imperatoria. Golden Age, it's not going to happen, I don't think. The only other one we might be able to get would be the Silk Roads one. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we could get 4 more resources inside our territories, it would require us to build markets. We'll have to see what we can do. I definitely want to settle right here. I feel like this captures a lot of value. So I'm going to support the restoration of our relationship. I'm going to keep hindering J-Riz because he's my closest and most dangerous neighbor. But otherwise, I want to reconcile with the others. I need 3 codex. So I believe the question of whether or not I can get a codex in time is the question of whether or not I can research engineering. They have to be displayed, don't they? They have to be displayed. It's not good enough to just get them. So I would need a library in Hitchiti, and I would need to get the academy here, which is just really unlikely. So in that case, I'm going to go for bronze working mastery to get the extra +3 combat strength on my hoplites, because they're going to be like my workhorse unit for this age. They're going to kind of do most of the work for me. Okay, we got a narrative. So the crisis has reached its final level. Bunch of new units are appearing around these dangerous encampments. My capital city has grown, and we don't necessarily care about more resources. I think we do care about building up the city in the form of specialists. And I think this specialist here could live here pretty much forever and get a decent amount of value. So I will pop that specialist right there. I'm going to go for tribute and rebellious commanders. It's going to hurt my happiness, but it's fine. We'll go to the next turn. So there's skilled trades and the Sanchi Stupa. Oh, you poor little scout. Run. Got plenty of gold in the bank. Sundapura is falling as is planned. I will settle you right here. This captures a whole bunch of new resources for us, which is fantastic. Exactly as we planned. There's Sparta. Let's grab these pearls. We could still get more Logios, and so I will. What do? You create a great work. So I'm going to send you down here where I plan eventually to build a library. There is a +8 science library right here, which is crazy strong. Yeah, we're getting a lot of adjacency there. Northeast, west adjacency, base buildings, then the base yield. We do lose a little bit of yields here. I do think this is worth building though. So let's do it. I'm going to prioritize that library so we can display more codices. And yeah, we don't really have a whole lot of production tiles left, but I will grab food and production tiles. I think that's a reasonable choice. Aristotle definitely feels like one of the weakest Logios. There's the combat strength production on military buildings. I'm going to begin the research of engineering. I would love to get mathematics if we could. Hitchiti does have low happiness, which is a problem. The villa could help with that. Also, so could the altar. I guess I could purchase an arena. I'm going to purchase the arena right there just to cover the city's happiness problems, because having... Ooh, we found another potential location over here. Having negative happiness just isn't good. Okay, we finished raising that city. That does hurt our diplo favor for the rest of this age, but not a big deal. We're not really building that many buildings. I haven't had an excuse to take this, so I'll just go for food. We have made a lot of use out of that food, I feel like. Let's grab the +1 science from specialists, because that might help us hit academies slightly sooner. And if we could get an academy down and display items in it, that would be kind of neat. Okay, you're ready to grow. I think we want to grow towards the fur and the sheep. I'm going to buy you a granary so that you grow slightly faster. Perfect. And then that's the end of this turn. We are in a celebration, which is fantastic. We have really strong culture in a celebration. We're 94% of the way through the age. It's unlikely we're going to get much more out of the age. I think we really just need to... yeah, this is what I thought. So the antiquity age is drawing to a close. So we just need to prep for the start of the next age. That's our main objective. Narrative choice. We can get a hoplite or a migrant. I'll take the hoplite. We need to make sure we keep sanctioning this guy. We get a lot of value out of that. Local festival, open markets. Not against open markets with her. Oh, she refused it. Interesting. All right, perfect. Let's drop into Sparta. I would like to get my festival grounds in here, so I will, because that's worth +1 happiness, +1 influence for the rest of the game, mind you. Athenae, we can get 1 more Logios before the game ends, I believe. 7 turns until the age ends. Okay, what do you do, Plato? So you activate on an Acropolis to give 50% of its culture. You get culture per turn equal to its influence yield, which is really not a lot. That definitely needs a buff. That feels weak as hell. If it was the other way around, it'd be sick. 7 turns until the age ends. Let's pick up the chickens. We want to grow nice and quick in here. I heard that picking up chickens, hey, it's like picking up chicks. No, picking up chickens gets you leveled up. Sappho is going to create a great work here. Brilliant. Few more turns until the age ends. +1 resource capacity in cities alongside markets probably would have allowed me to get 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, would have allowed me to get the next economic point. The question is, yeah, the market would take 4 turns. The age ends in 4 turns, so I don't think it's worth it. Like, that would have been good if it happened a while ago. But as it currently stands, I don't think it's going to help us. All right, let's grab the fish in the capital at long last. And then you have also grown. There's a nice iron tile right there that will scoop up. So what could I build in a few turns that would have an impact in the next age? That's what I'm trying to think about. Probably the fishing key. Probably the only thing I can think of that would have an actual impact. The problem is that I want to build a fishing key here because if my cog spawns here, I'd probably cry. So I tell you what, I will build one in Argos instead. And then we may as well just start repairing your tiles. Yeah, so I think mostly we're just looking to kind of coast our way through the end of this age. Everything we could have done, we've already had an opportunity to do. We might get a Logios out and maybe get to use him. You know, in theory, I could build this market and do that thing that I talked about. You know what? Let's give it the old try. I've changed my mind. Might be too late in this city. Oh, no, it's too late. Damn it. Should have changed my mind a turn ago. Not enough time now. The bath is nice for the 10% growth rate, but we're never going to build it in time. We're never going to build the army commander in time. There's a lot of things we just aren't going to do in time, so I'll tell you what to do. Just do a research festival. Keep yourself busy for a while. Okay, let's grab these dyes. Oh, no, I know an idea, right? If I plant here... No, I messed up. I shouldn't have done that. Oof. What I could do is I could plant you right there. That will pop bounce me to grab this. I'm kind of annoyed that you lose your scouts on the age transition. We can probably farm a little experience here though, which is not bad. It's only 1 experience, but all right, another 20% food. I really do think that leveling up stuff really worked out for us. Resource capacity in cities. We may as well plug in a few resources. We're so close to this. Oh, if I had built that market, I would have made it. Well, I did the maths wrong. I'm a dummy. Lesson learned there, be more careful in how we do our maths, do our counting. The age of antiquity is ending. Who will carry your legacy? Brilliant. And yeah, we'll just do a research initiative. You can be Pythagoras, can trigger a celebration immediately. Cool. That was probably the worst Logios to roll at the end of an era. But I think if we just tell all of our units to go to sleep, that's it. That's a wrap on the antiquity age. I feel pretty good about our antiquity age. I don't think it was the greatest antiquity age. Oh, there was another turn. You sly sons of guns. I don't think it was a bad antiquity age either, however. I feel pretty happy with that. So that's the antiquity age coming to an end. I definitely feel like if I had been playing the game more, I would have performed a lot better. Like, we were definitely bottom of the barrel against the deity AI, but I'm relearning the game, man. I haven't played it in like 8 months or something. It's been a long time. So you gotta give me a break. You gotta give me a little credit. We're in the learning process, man. So in terms of which civs I want to play, I do wish I could filter this screen based on who I have locked and unlocked. I guess they kind of do it now. I do remember Bulgaria being kind of busted. I'm intrigued by the Norman because we already took a ageless culture and happiness building. So leaning into Norman could be really interesting, especially if we're getting a bunch of cheap cavalry that we could use to attack our neighbors if we wanted to go settle / conquer the new world. I like the idea of leaning even more into the rough terrain stuff, because like this is a fortified district. It also gets extra happiness if it's placed on rough terrain. We get a unique cavalry unit and a better settler. I don't think I've ever really played the Normans either. I usually pick Spain because Spain are like my go-to because I like the stuff. I'm going to go Norman here. I don't think I've ever played Norman. So land units receive extra combat or extra movement when embarked, and land units adjacent to coast receive combat strength. We get a construction boost towards the White Tower. We have a unique cavalry unit, a unique settler, and a unique district that gives culture and happiness, and then we scale off of celebrations. And I think the fact that we already have a culture and happiness ageless set of buildings does kind of lean us into going even more into culture and happiness, right? Because then we benefit even more. Because the more of something you have, the better you are at it. There's kind of like an interesting synergy there, which is kind of exciting for me. Oh, there's some cool tips and hints here. So the Mott and Bailey both count as fortifications, making them defensible districts, but it also means they can be purchased in fort towns. That's actually a really useful little tip. So we've got to handle our legacy. Oh wow, I didn't see him settle this city. That's kind of a little bit out of left field. I would probably like to get this old home situation under control. There's Kilwa. We definitely want to befriend them if we can. Let's choose our legacy bonuses. So this is going to be the opening of the exploration age. We have a few different things that we could go towards. Definitely settlement limit is incredibly useful. A single point of this could be really useful too. We have a wild card, and so I'm thinking, what if I went for fealty plus militaristic? This would get me extra settlement limits, as well as militaristic attribute points that I can use to help me with war. And then the economic point and the scientific point can just help with my economy to back up the war. Now, which city do I want to be my capital? Hichiti isn't a terrible capital location. It's kind of far away from the rest of my cities. Olympia isn't a great choice. We may just keep it as Athenai. The advantage of this is it does create an extra city, which kind of has a lot of value. So I am tempted to upgrade Hichiti just to start with that extra city. So I'm going to change my capital to Rouen. So all the benefits of this age with regards to legacy paths come from playing around the other continents. But I really do need to make a decision about, is that what I actually want to do this age, or do I want to focus on fighting and controlling my local territory? Because we will get a significant amount of settlement slots. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 5 more settlement slots. So we could capture 3 more cities, even potentially settle one right now. And depending on how we wanted to play things, depending on how we wanted to go about things, we could make some really interesting decisions with regards to how we tackle this age. So I don't need to capture this marble. 1, 2, 3. So if I were to settle right here, 1, 2, 3, I would basically capture everything except for this. So I am tempted to settle here just to scoop up all of these resources. If I were to forsake this, I could move another tile closer. I think this tile is good because it has good all-around capture capability. So I think our opening move is going to be a Soakman to capture this city location, because that will keep the pathway between my empire, the sections of my empire open, plus it'll secure me another piece of gold, which is a treasure resource. And we could also, in theory, create another fishing town around here if we really wanted to. Okay, so we got a bunch of points. I didn't change my mementos because I always forget to change my mementos. I don't know if we need the military sabotage espionage action. Extra happiness and settlements for resources that are assigned to them is cool. I don't necessarily know if we want celebration length, because longer celebrations mean your celebrations happen less often, but I definitely want that happiness and settlements. That's pretty good. On the economic front, it's a question of, do we want to get cheaper gold purchasing to make good use of our gold, or do we want to get just raw gold improvement? And I think going for the raw gold improvement from towns is pretty valuable. The extra gold from techs and civic masteries isn't terrible either. On the militaristic side of things, I'm going to be getting +1 war support on all of my wars here. I would also like the unhappiness penalty here. And then +1 science per age on palace and city halls is really going to give us a little kickstart here into this age. So I think our general strategy is going to be probably to kill Jose Rizal this age and maybe look for a few easy settlements. I don't know if the game gave me a free caravel. It did, a free cog. So we can do like a little bit of exploration here. Got a bunch of resources to assign. So Rouen I wish there was, I really wish there was an unassign all button and then an assign all button. And I wish I could take a resource from Thebai here and like swap it with this town rather than having to take both of them out and then put them in. I suppose you can do it if it's blank, but not if it's not blank, which is, you know, this is one of those screens where I'm genuinely a little bit surprised about the function of it. So rubies gives you gold in towns, doubled in homelands. Horses make your cavalry units stronger, up to a cap of 6. Gold gives you gold and happiness in all settlements, so it scales off the number of settlements that you have. We've got tea, which gives science and production, doubled in homelands. Gold and food in all settlements from silver, and then happiness in the capital from furs with plus 10 gold when you're in a celebration. Excellent, so quite good there. So taking a look at Rouen, I think the big thing that we would like is to get all this gypsum in here for the production. Athenai is producing more culture than Rouen, so I'll put the silk in there for the extra culture. And I suppose it's probably producing more gold as well. And we might build missionaries and temples, so I'll put the incense in there. And then we just got to figure out food, happiness, food and production, food, happiness. All right, well, let's just assign food and happiness first. Then we'll assign happiness. Then we'll assign food and well, actually, in theory, cotton is better to assign to Rouen than gypsum is, because it's worth more, because it's worth food and production, whereas gypsum is only worth 3 production in homelands. It's worth 6 in distant lands. Could be worth it for us to get a city in distant lands. So in terms of how we want to approach this age, I think there are a few kind of interesting and useful directions that we could go. If we picked up machinery, we could crank out a lot of base yields. There's also a settlement in here. I do like the idea of going for heraldry to get our chevalier. I need to think about my civics as well, because early temples are useful, but then we also need to think about our Norman civics. Let's see, culture for the palace, happiness in city halls, settlement limit in here, that's really strong. Then you've got gold maintenance reductions for cavalry units, tradition for culture from every tradition slotted. You've got gold from farms, double during celebrations. You've got another settlement limit, and you've got the White Tower. Normally the White Tower is unlocked pretty deep into the civic tree. So there's good potential for like happiness and warfare and all sorts of stuff. And the happiness will allow us to overcome the fact that we'll be at warfare and taking negatives. We do need to figure out where we're going to get a lot more diplomatic influence, because once you're at war and you start doing like spying and all this sort of stuff, things can go pretty badly for you. But I tell you what though, like I think we've got ourselves pretty much set up for the next episode. So I'm going to call it there. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.